Mason, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Life is good, like
Yeah,
always.
yeah. Beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful morning.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
yeah, man.
So I know you a little bit, but the people that
Little.
watch us does not know you.
Okay.
So tell a little bit about yourself, and then we're gonna start.
A little bit about me. Yeah, I'm, just kind of like your typical ad man. So, not as quite as cool as like Donald Draper, but I try. Um, and it's a different age in advertising, but I do, campaign strategy for a lot of different brands. Yeah, living right outside of Boulder. So glad to be part of the Highland Club. Glad to have met you, man. And no, I'm stoked.
I love that.
Yeah.
I saw one of your campaign that you did. Man, that was beautiful.
You enjoyed it?
That was one of the
Yeah.
most beautiful
Yeah.
campaign I ever
Yeah.
saw.
Well, thank you. There's a lot of talented people that go behind the scenes to make something like that happen. I'm a cog in a machine, but it's a definitely a team effort. But yeah, we've enjoyed making some good work for some cool brands, so it's been awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we're ready. I'm gonna surprise you with 5 different reels about 5 different, or most of them are like have the same message, because what I learned about you is you're gonna see in the reels.
Okay. I'm a little scared. You've scared me, but I'm ready. Let's check them out.
Be ready.
Yeah.
Love is dark, man. If it can't be me and you against the world, I'm not the guy for you. Dark love to me is the world could hate us, the world could be burning down, and we'd be slow dancing in a burning room. And if I can't have love like that, then I don't want love at all. So all my emojis even, rose, black heart, rose. Real love is holding hands with 2 skeletons. Real love is getting buried by each other. Real love is she'll take a charge for you. Not that I would have somebody, but she'd also kill for you. Real love's dark, bro.
What do you think about that?
I think it's aspirational. I think it's definitely something that people don't really necessarily want to commit to that degree.
Okay.
I think it's increasingly rare in our world to have something like that. I think that's something that I feel like I do have to a degree. I don't know if dark is the adjective that I would use to describe it. I would actually say it's quite light. But I think that there's a power to that type of love that just 200% commitment to each other that, I feel very blessed in my life to have a wonderful wife that I feel like we both would die for each other. I think that that's it's something that I don't think that our culture today necessarily it's fading out a little bit. And I think that we need more of that. That's my initial reaction.
Yeah, I really love what you say, that real love is dark, because I took it in a different part. Because when you love someone, even in the worst time in your life, you will be still there for him and he will be there for you. Yeah, real love, it's holding hands as a skeletons too. Like you're gonna bury each other. And I think it's beautiful, because where I come, even your squad, you love them, really love them, and you will be there for them, and you ready to die next to them. In the same moment when you have your girl waiting for you home, you're just thinking about her, that you're ready to die for the purpose that she will feel safe. And I think this is beautiful how we explain what for him is real love, because people think, real love is like you and me dancing in the rain. No, real love is to be there to each other in the hardest moment in their life.
I think so. Yeah. Life is tough.
Yeah.
Ultimately, everybody experiences it. You've experienced it. I've experienced just the brutality of life, and how shit falls apart. And, the only thing that holds things together, I think, is that love. And so you have that love, nothing can break that. And I think that that's why we're here ultimately, right? Is because if there wasn't that love that holds things together, even when things are breaking down, why would we be here?
Yeah.
That's God. That's the essence of God in that sense. It's that force that brings together and holds fast, even when there is something that's tearing the seams apart. It just goes anyways.
Love is the real meaning that why we are living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
My wife, when I got with her, I said, look, I'll do anything for you except one thing. I will not give up on that dream. Because if I abandon my dream, I'll abandon you. I truly believe that. I see so many people, man, they give up their dream for the wife. They give up their dream for the husband. And then the wife and the husband get together and they have kids and then they give up their dream again because of the kids. And I said, the day we have kids, we cannot blame the kids for not going after our potential and our dreams. I said, look, if I got to be less than who I'm meant to be with you,
That's powerful.
can't give you that.
That's powerful.
I agree with this guy. I have a hard time with this guy.
Why? That's interesting.
I don't like him. I don't know why. I just think he's kind of a dork. But what I do, I hear what he's saying. I think for me, there's power in sacrifice. So, when I got married, I was willing to allow myself to be influenced by my wife. So I think that while I do agree with what he's saying, never give up on your dream, right? I would never tell anybody to give up on their dream. However, I also think that when you do make a commitment to somebody, you're committing to somebody and they're going to change you and you need to let them change you. You have to. If you don't allow your spouse to change you, I believe that God brings two people together to influence each other. When two people come together, you become better. And so it depends on what your dream is, right? If your dream is to have a beautiful life, I would say never let that go, but you can't control the outcome of your life, right? And you can't even control who you're marrying. And the most important thing is that you love each other through whatever changes happen, in my opinion. So I think that while I do agree, never let go of your dreams, I also agree, allow people to change you and move the furniture around in your heart and your mind, and you're going to become better. As long as you have that faith, as long as you have that connection with a God that you love, it will all be okay. But to come in forcefully and say, you can't change me, that's, I think, the fine line. Do you see it? Do you
Understand?
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I always say that you will change for the right person in your life, and it's great to be changed because even if you're in relationship with your friend, 5 years, you are the best friend in the world, and you never change a little bit, you never become a better person. All the time you change. I every day wants to be different.
Yeah.
I every day wants to be a better version of myself. I try to gain 1% more every day. So to change, I fully agree. You need to change, and even for the right girl, for the right woman, you will change more and more. But I agree that you cannot give up on your dream and you cannot blame something outside because it's easy to blame.
Yes.
It's easy to say that's
Well,
fault.
it's dependent on the dream that you have too. Because have you heard those, the AI alignment problem, right? This is just a parallel. If you give the AI a goal that's not a good goal, it's going to end up destroying everybody just to pursue that particular goal. There's a paperclip analogy. If you tell an AI to, count all the paperclips in the world, it ends up figuring out a way to get rid of all the humans and kill them all because that's just the way that the AI is working, right? So if your goal is misaligned with what you actually want, which I think is more of a feeling than an actual physical manifestation, right? Everyone's just chasing to feel good. They want to feel like they are loved in life and all that type of stuff. I think that that's really beautiful. If that's your goal, if that's your dream, wonderful. But if your dream is, I'm here to make $1 billion and all this stuff, that's just, you can't control half that stuff, So it's pick the right thing and never give up on that dream. If your dream is to have a beautiful relationship, a beautiful family, or whatever that might be, that's truly rooted in love, I think that's a great thing to never give up on.
But what did you say about if your dream is money? I think this is the problem in the base because I always say to people, you don't need money to achieve your dreams. Your dream have the power to make money for you. Mm-hmm. And you need to put a dream that is bigger than yourself. Money is not bigger than yourself.
Right.
But if you come from a poor family and your dream is to take care of your family,
that's right.
That's become stronger.
That's right. Never give up on that dream, But I think that that's one of my problems that I have with this guy is that I think that this guy in particular really prioritizes money.
Yeah.
To a degree where I think his message, and maybe he's a good guy, I don't watch enough of his stuff, but I think, all of his stuff is always him and his wife dancing, trying to go into a private plane or something, and it's that's all great, but what's on the inside, in your heart, I think is the thing that the true dream that you should never give up on. And then wherever it nets out, it's going to be beautiful, you know? And
I
that's
love that.
where you're supposed to go, you know?
You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
You got to have a plan. Everybody's got a dream. Everybody's got a goal. What's the plan? And your plan has got to have something I call the C5 complex. Your plan has got to be clear, concise, compelling, consistent, and committed. You've got to have a plan. And when you're trying to do something that you're truly passionate about, there is no plan B.
It's a little bit connected to what we just talked right now.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, my reaction to it is, I mean, this is what I do for a living, right? I'm a strategist. I'm a planner. I think that planning is a careful act between being too detailed and being too overly simplistic. And I think you want to be, you need to have a plan that can flex, because nothing's ever going to go according to plan. But also you need to have a plan that's rooted enough in like basic principles where, you know, there's a strong foundation that you don't waver from side to side. You know what you stand for and where you're trying to go, but you're not beholden to any one way or any one set of circumstances happening to get there.
That's great. Yeah, you're professional in plan, to build plans and how to do that. And I always say, like, take your dream, make a major goal. Then for the major goals, start to build a huge goals, medium goals, and then every goals you need to take and separate again.
That's right.
And I always say, if you can separate for daily and weekly goals, you will see the process. Even if your daily goal is to do something really small, but at least that goal make you one step forward to the medium goals, and every medium goals make you the major goals.
Yep.
I think this is beautiful when you plan, you exactly know what to do, and you have to be dynamic. I always say you have to be ready that maybe tomorrow morning, everything gonna collapse in front of you. So what are you gonna do now? And this is what I always say to tell the people, worst case thinking. Like if you will thinking about the worst case scenario, you will be able to keep moving forward, and to everything that happened to you, that's nothing, because I already think that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. You know, it also is a balance between long-term and short-term thinking. I happen to think that for goals, as you were saying, short-term goals that you set on a weekly basis or a daily basis are really solid. And I think there's an interesting Steve Jobs quote that I once saw, which was like, he basically talks about this, the entrepreneur's job is basically to balance that long-term goal with those short-term everyday things. And how do you find that right balance between the two, which is exactly what you're saying. I think I love what you said, because it is a very fine balance between those two things. You know, it's doing the things in the moment during, you know, every day, that ultimately will get you to that clear, as he said, clear and concise goal later on. And the ability to bridge that gap is what I think is so, the most successful people are the people who can do that very well, you know?
That's great.
Yeah.
Ready for the next one? Let's go.
I have led a toothless life. I have never bitten into anything. I was waiting. I was reserving myself for later on, and I have just noticed that my teeth have gone.
A lot of people wait for perfect conditions to start, but don't realize that starting is the perfect condition. Your teeth can get sharper and stronger. He's saving himself to use his teeth, but he could have had all of his teeth at the end if he had been using them the whole time. And so we have this idea, I call it the fallacy of the perfect pick, but thinking that you're gonna have this one shot, this one pick of this one opportunity, this one podcast, this one whatever, that's going to take you all the way. But it's the habit of biting that takes you all the way, not where you choose to bite the first time. And I obviously now have a huge history of this, and you do too, which is we have learned to just bite and know that our teeth will get stronger and we will learn how to chomp down along the way. And waiting to begin never got anyone anywhere.
I love that.
Me too. I think it's really cool. I think it's about fear, ultimately. Like, how much does fear govern your life on a daily basis?
You ask me, I have a theory about fear. No, but I say fear is the biggest engine of the world, because what you're doing, You're doing from fear. If you're afraid for something, you will never do that. But I always say, take that fear that you're afraid to do and you're afraid for fail, and put in the position that you are staying right now. I am afraid to stay the same, Yovel. I want to be bigger and better and everything in life. I am afraid from who I am right now, because I know that I can be better. So when you took your fear and put it in the right position, it will be like engine inside you, like something that will drive you and driven you, and you will want to be something bigger and stronger. So you don't need to fear from maybe you will fail. Fear from the position that you're saying right now, and then you will start to act. So yeah, I'm not afraid for something will happen to me, because I know that I can take care of about everything, but it's not the fear that I'm talking about. And they speaking about the fear that people are afraid from non-expected solution that will be happen.
That's nice, man. That's a good reframing of fear, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because if you think about fear from an evolutionary standpoint, it's like it exists for a reason. It was there to protect you, but a lot of times we let it, it's actually there to help you, right?
Yeah.
It's there to say, hey, you need to do something, or you're uncomfortable with something, and it's there to say, hey, you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. That's all it's there to do. It's not a bad thing. It's just saying, hey, wow, I'm kind of approaching this thing that I've never done before, and I'm a little bit scared, and maybe there's some danger around the corner. That's evolutionary. That's where that comes from, just a million years of a species evolving, a billion years of a species evolving. But I think that what you're doing is spot on. You're saying, hey, that evolutionary factor of fear, hey, I'm feeling this fear, is actually not something that's saying, don't do it. It's just saying something, hey, Yovel, you're stepping outside of your comfort zone right now. That's all it is. And then you're basically, what you say that means to you is, that means good. You're moving forward. Whereas some people look at that, I'm probably a victim of this as well. Sometimes I step out of my comfort zone and I get scared, and I kind of just go inward instead of going outward. I think it's very powerful what you do. I can tell you do that. That's just your nature. You just get bigger in the face of fear rather than shrinking. And I think a lot of us, kind of go in. I'm probably a victim of that too much.
I wrote a book, and full chapter of the book is speak about fear, and now you can change the position of fear right now, standing in your life. And like the big book, the big picture, I call it fucking golden. Because if you want to be successful in life, and you need to be a fucking golden. Like everything can influence your life. But the only thing that will really influence is what you will let him go inside you. So you can choose what you want that will influence, because you can only control one thing about your life, is your attitude about life, your brain. And if you will be able to take everything that you fear from and to put that in a different position, if you will be able to say that I'm afraid for my comfort zone, I'm afraid to stay home and don't do nothing, I'm fucking afraid from that, and I want to be a fucking golden. So every day I will do something that will take me outside my comfort zone. This is like what I wrote in the book, and now I explain that, and now I want people who try to achieve that.
And what's the reason for the fucking golden? Like, what's the golden mean there?
The golden, I always say that I train a lot of children to the army, and teenagers, that's all of them now, 21, 22, in special and elite forces. And I always told them, like, you will get in the moment that everything in your life you'll think against you. But if you will take your heads up, smile, and you say, I'm a golden, I'm a fucking golden, with all the meaning of the world. Golden for me is like, man, see how beautiful I am, how strong I am, where I am right now. Like, my life is good.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where your life is standing right now, even if you don't have money to feed yourself, you're still able to say about yourself, I'm a fucking golden, and now I'm gonna achieve more and more and more. And I always say, it's a journey that never ends. You're gonna start that, but when more you're gonna start, it's gonna end only in the last day on your life.
Yeah.
Because you will always want to get more, and you always want to be bigger and stronger. This is the real meaning of fucking golden.
Yeah, so it basically just flips it on its head. It basically says, takes your chicken shit and turns it into chicken soup. It's just like, it's just a mantra. It's a mantra that you can repeat, fucking golden, even when it's bad.
Yeah.
You just say it and it just you snap into it, you feel it, and I like it because it is visceral, right? Like there is this image of it's visual, right? You see what yourself in a different light, in a golden light, which is cool, you know.
Yeah, I always say to people like change the way you think and start
Yeah.
to think I'm fucking golden.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's nice.
Yeah. Ready for the next one?
If I were 24, I would not even be looking for a long-time partner until I was at least 28, and I feel like 28 is pretty young. Because a guy like you that's ambitious, you might settle for a girl based off the man you are today when you're going way up here, and then that's going to create a whole nother problem for you because the girl you can really get at your maturity, let's say between 33 and 35, is probably going to be substantially better material, probably a lot of things better than what you can get today.
I put it in purpose for you because I know that you are married and you get married young, and I want to listen to what you have to say about that.
I would say it's true for some people, I'm sure, and for others, it's not true. I don't think, for me, I think my wife would attest to this, like, we just fell into each other's laps and fell in love and didn't resist it. I've got friends who are single and who are doing great and are happy. I've got friends who are also married and having children, and there's a different path for everybody. My take is you know it in your heart. When you meet that girl, it's not going to be something up here.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is a very, I would say, rational approach to what, you know, I mean, this is a very common conversation amongst American men is, hey, you know, you got time, just relax, stack your cash. You're going to meet some girl someday and it's going to be great. Yeah, for some people. For other people, you know, the perfect girl might just fall into your lap and you might be 21.
Yeah.
And I would say, you're a fucking idiot if that girl comes and you use this instead of this. Use your heart, and when you meet that girl, you'll know. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I disagree with him a little bit. And what you say about the mind and the brain and the heart, I think it's, again, I talk about that a lot. That is the longest journey that man ever will do in his life, is to take that and connect to that, and to take that to connect to that. I always say most of the men will need to connect the brain to the heart, and the woman the opposite.
That's so true, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like my relationship. My wife has the biggest heart in the world, and I live up here. My wife trusts in her heart, and I need to rationalize things a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it actually is a challenging thing, you know, with my wife and with a lot of my friends, and I see their marriages, and they come up against the same thing. Their wives, it's an amazing compliment, right? Because their wives have these brilliant hearts, and these men, you know, live more in their heads and they're more rational. And I think that's where the beauty of the compatibility can really come through.
Yeah.
You know, the compliment there. And it's, you know, when you are married to somebody who has a huge heart, it challenges you. It's not easy, you know? It's like, oh man, like I don't move through life that way, but you're forcing me to.
I love that, man.
You know, but when we fell in love, my wife and I, you know, I was here, and then, you know, as time goes on, the relationship, you know, progresses and life hits, you find yourself coming up here, and your wife saying, hey, come back down to your heart. And, you know, I think that is I think you hit it spot on. Like, it's a very interesting dynamic between the two.
Yeah.
And then I think there's also this idea of, you know, me for my wife. My wife sometimes needs to come up here, you know, so it's this push and pull thing. But I think it's the beauty of life too, you know?
No, it's beautiful. And in the same moment, I look about the most successful men in the world. They got married really young. And in my opinion, when you are with the right partner, even if for now is the right partner, maybe more 20 years from now, we don't know what's going to be. But if it's the right partner, it will drive you to work and be better. And especially when you have children. One of my dreams is to be a father. And I know that in the moment that I will look about my child, I will want to give him everything. One time I asked my father, before I got my nephew, we talk about like, what is to be a father? He told me, when your mom just got birth, your youngest brother, I needed to back home to take you to the kindergarten. And the same moment, I didn't know how that guy looked. I didn't know what his name. I didn't know nothing. Just a couple of minutes ago it's happened. But I felt inside me that I want to give him everything in that world, just give him. And then I look about myself, man, that's when I look about my father, that I love you, that's beautiful. And I remember like my brother-in-law that I love, and he's amazing. He almost started to cry because my sister wasn't pregnant at that time. Because it's really beautiful when you have something that is yours, your children.
Yeah.
You want to give them everything. So if you're young and you have ambition and you have goals, and the same moment you have child at home, you will never stop. You will wake up in 4 a.m. and you go to sleep in 3 a.m. only to achieve that goals that you can be able to give him and provide him everything.
It's a huge driver.
Yeah.
It'll get you out of bed in the morning for sure. You know,
if you want that and if you don't want that.
well, you have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it comes down to a little bit about our conversation about fear, but you know, it pushes you so far out of your comfort zone that you're just like, I have to. We don't have children, but you know, I wake up in the morning and it's like, no, I've got a wife to, you know, provide for, and you know, obviously she can provide for herself, but there's this drive to provide her the life that I want to give her, you know? And yeah, I think like the more you push yourself, even if you're not ready for it, like, or you think that you're not ready for it, as long as you don't allow that to define you and say, this is going to ruin my life. If you reframe it as you were talking about, like, I'm fucking golden. If you can reframe it, you can rise to the occasion and it's going to make you better, you know? So I think something like this, it's really rational. It's really heady. And if you set these rules, these hard and fast rules for yourself, I think you're only selling yourself short. Let it flow. Let God deliver what he's going to deliver just to your doorstep. He knows you. He's got you, you know. And if you just listen, if you just pray, if you just, you know, have that connection, you can't lose. You can't fail.
I love that.
Yeah.
So in the end, for the end,
Yeah.
give us the best advice in life that you can ever give to someone, of advice that you wanted to get when you was 20, 21 years old.
Well, I'm only 29. I would say just go for it. You know, I think it's gonna. What comes to my mind is I had this conversation with my grandmother, who was a big influence in my life, and she was dying, and I flew out to Reno, Nevada, to go visit her on her deathbed, basically, and kind of left college and made the trip, and you know, just said, this is really important. I want to talk to my grandmother before she passes away. And I walked into her bedroom where she was and kind of just like sat next to her and said, you know, Mimi, you know, what's your take on life? And it was a really interesting moment because I could see her, she was dying, and I could see her kind of looking at death on one side, and she could see it because she was in her last days, but she was also alive. And so when I asked her that question, she kind of went to this place of like inward almost. And she looked at death as she was pondering this question of what's life about? What's your takeaway from life? She went inside and almost looked at death. I could feel it. And then she came back and she looked at me and she just said, it goes fast. And, you know, I feel like I was just 21 and I'm almost 30. And that time has gone by so fast. And it's like, you just got to go. Life's going to move. Life's going to happen. It's not going to stop for you. It's not going to wait for you. I think, you know, just do it and flow with it. Don't try to control it because it's going to go no matter what. So just ride the wave, go down the river of life. Don't try to, you know, stop that river or dam up that river. Just let it flow because it's not going to stop.
I mean, that story is strong. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate everything.
Yeah, bro.
I learned a lot.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.